Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we uncover the juicy details behind those boring corporate reports. And today we have a filing that has some pretty big twists and turns in the financial world. It looks like American Shared Hospital Services, better known as AMS, had to do a do-over on their last quarterly report. And let me tell you, it involves some serious debt, reclassification, and a whole lot of going concern talk. So stick around as we decode what this means for AMS and its investors. This whole filing is an amendment to a previous report for the quarter ending the 30th of September 2025. And the big reason for the amendment is a financial oopsie concerning how they classified their debt. Basically, they had to admit that a chunk of their debt was actually due much sooner than they initially reported. And this has some pretty serious implications, particularly for their ability to keep operating as a business as usual. Let's dive into the numbers right away, because that is where the real story is. As of the 30th of September 2025, the original report said they had about $9.5 million in current debt. But here is the kicker: after reviewing things, they realized that an additional $8.6 million of what they thought was long-term debt actually needed to be moved into the current liability column. That means all of a sudden their short-term debt jumped from roughly $9.5 million to over $18 million. That's a massive and sudden increase in their immediate financial obligations. When you look at the total liabilities, you can see how this reclassification impacts the overall picture. As of the 30th of September 2025, their total liabilities are reported as $31 million both before and after the restatement. This means the restructuring of the debt classification did not change the overall debt amount, but it drastically changed how that debt is presented in terms of its due date. Now, this isn't just a minor accounting adjustment, it is significant because it directly impacts how investors and creditors view the company's short-term financial health. When a large portion of your debt is due within the next year, it means you need to have enough cash or readily available credit to cover those payments or risk defaulting. And that brings us to their liquidity situation, which is looking pretty shaky. As of the 30th of September 2025, their cash and cash equivalents along with restricted cash totaled about $5.3 million. Now compare that to their total current liabilities of over $25 million and you can see a big problem. They have way more short-term debt coming due than they have readily available cash to pay for it. This very sentence right here is the alarm bell. It signifies that the company itself is saying there is a real possibility they might not be able to stay in business. This is often triggered by a combination of heavy debt loads, weak cash flow, and serious covenant violations in AMS. In this case, the issue stems from not meeting certain financial requirements in their credit agreements with Fifth Third Bank and the US International Development Finance Corporation, or DFC. The report details a notice from Fifth Third Bank on the 10th of December 2025 stating that an event of default occurred because the company failed to maintain a minimum of $5 million in unrestricted domestic cash for the quarter ending the 30th of September 2025. This is a crucial point. They did not meet a basic liquidity requirement set forth in their loan agreement. Because of this, Fifth Third has also suspended their ability to borrow more money from the revolving line of credit, which further tightens their financial flexibility. And if that wasn't enough, the company also concluded that this default with Fifth Third could be considered a default on their loan with the DFC too. This creates a domino effect where a problem with one lender could trigger issues with another and significantly increases the risk of loan acceleration. This statement highlights the severe consequences if the lenders decide to call in their loans. It means the company could lose access to its credit lines, have its entire outstanding debt become immediately due, and potentially see its assets seized. This is the nightmare scenario for any company, and it is a very real possibility for AMS right now. So what does this all mean for the company's strategy and competitive position? Well, it means their primary focus has to shift from growth and expansion to survival and debt management. Looking at the balance sheet, as of the 30th of September 2025, their total assets stand at about $59.6 million. This is slightly down from $60.2 million at the end of the previous year. This doesn't necessarily signal a business collapse, but it does show they are not growing their asset base as aggressively, which is understandable given their current financial challenges. On the income statement for the 9 months ended the 30th of September 2025, the company reported a net loss attributable to them of $922,000. This follows a net income of over $3.5 million in the same period in 2024. The shift from profit to loss is concerning, and while they did have a significant bargain purchase gain in the previous year, which boosted those numbers, the underlying trend of losses in operations is a red flag. The net loss for the 9 months ended the 30th of September 2025 was driven by losses in both their leasing and direct patient services segments, primarily due to lower procedure volumes. This indicates that the core business operations are not generating enough revenue to cover their costs, which exacerbates the debt problem. They also have significant future commitments for equipment purchases and services, totaling over $7.8 million for Gamma Knife and Linac systems, and another $6.8 million for service contracts. While they state they intend to finance these projects and have some cash and revolving credit capacity, the fact that they are still making such large commitments while facing potential loan acceleration and going concern doubts is a bold move. It shows they are betting on their ability to secure financing and avoid default. Now let's talk about direction and strategy. AMS is in a tough spot. Their core business of providing specialized medical equipment and services is capital intensive and relies on strong partnerships with hospitals. The reclassification of debt and the going concern warning suggest they are facing immediate financial pressure. Their strategy likely needs to pivot from aggressive growth to debt restructuring and operational efficiency. They are trying to maintain momentum with new equipment purchases, but that carries its own risks if financing falls through. The most notable risk here is undoubtedly the potential acceleration of their debt obligations. If Fifth Third or DFC decide to call their loans, the company could face bankruptcy. Their ability to negotiate waivers or amendments to their credit agreements is absolutely critical. The fact that they are in discussions is a positive sign, but there is no guarantee of success. Another significant risk is their reliance on procedure volumes. The report mentions decreases in PBRT and Gamma Knife procedures, which directly impacts their revenue. This could be due to market factors, competition, or issues with their equipment. Diversifying their revenue streams or finding ways to increase procedure volume will be key. The addition of the Rhode Island facilities and the Puebla, Mexico facility in their direct patient services segment shows a strategic move to diversify revenue away from pure leasing, but the report also indicates these operations are contributing to losses, which adds complexity to their financial situation. My take on AMS is that they are walking a very fine line. The financial restructuring and the going concern warning are serious matters. They have assets and a business model that can be profitable, but they are currently burdened by significant debt and facing immediate liquidity challenges. Their success hinges on their ability to successfully renegotiate their debt structure, secure necessary financing for future commitments, and importantly increase their operational revenues to service that debt. It is a high-stakes situation where a single misstep could have severe consequences. Alright, that is our deep dive into American Shared Hospital Services' latest amended filing. What do you think about their financial predicament and their ability to navigate these challenges? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this analysis helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more decoding of corporate financial documents. And don't forget to join our Discord community linked in the description for more discussions and insights. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.